Okay, in my previous video I showed how I cut up the artwork that I used to put together my own collage art for my arcade cabinet. So here's a quick video on how I actually put all those pieces together after I cut them up. So I start here for my side art panel with a black background, and I traced a template of the side of an arcade cabinet that I want to use. In this case, this is the side of the Mortal Kombat 2 cabinet. Mortal Kombat was my favorite game growing up, and I thought it was a really cool, slick-looking, classic arcade cabinet. So I was going to use that as my kind of rough guide on how I want to build mine. So once I have the background, then I can start putting pieces in that I want to have. So I started off with a background here with asteroids and some stars from Defender. And then the first piece I put in was from Donkey Kong. And to make it a little more lively, I threw the centipede character in there, like he's kind of attacking Donkey Kong or something. It's getting a little crazy. And then of course you have to have Pac-Man. After that, came in and I put in the little alien guy from Space Invaders. And then I got a lot of room down here on the steps with the Donkey Kong, so I decided to put Q*bert on there. He's down here next to Mario. Looks like he's freaking out a little bit with all the chaos. Also on the stairs I put Dig Dug. He's over here on the side, zapping the little dude. And then of course I gotta have Frogger. Way down here in the bottom left corner, he's jumping away scared. And then getting closer to the top of the arcade cabinet, I put in the little spacecraft from Galaga, as well as the one from Defender, right here next to Pac-Man. So there you have it. That's what I use for my side art panel, at least one iteration. If I jump over here, this is what template I set up to create the marquee, which is the kind of the light box at the top of the arcade. Again, I have kind of a black background that I'm starting with, and I first wanted to put in kind of a crazy looking floor that my character will stand on. I put in some text and calling it Arcade Classics. This font I put together by starting off by going to a website. I did a Google search for Mortal Kombat fonts. Found a website that let me type in whatever I want, and it would give me that in kind of a Mortal Kombat font. So it gave me a basic font to start with, and it was just solid white. So I filled it in with this gradient that you see and sized it how I needed it to. Then I had to use a lot of Photoshoppery to duplicate that, paint it white, put it behind it, scale it so that I get the white border. And if I zoom in close enough, you'll see that it's actually got a little black border, white border, then another really thin black border. So I did a lot of duplicating the layer, paint it the color I want it, in this case black, and then white, and then black again, scaling it and getting it to line up correctly. But anyway, I'm pretty happy with how that turned out, how the font turned out. So then once I got the font on there for my marquee, I start adding in different representations of the games. So here's Missile Command, kind of right here between the A and the D. We have a Space Invaders guy again. We put Donkey Kong over there on the left. Here's the little spacecraft from Defender again. Of course I gotta have Miss Pac-Man sitting up there right in the middle. Here's a character from Street Fighter. And we put a Dig Dug character on there again, over here on the far left. And again, the spacecraft from Galaga. And Frogger down in the middle. And I really like the centipede guy, so I put him on there. And then let's see, we also have Scorpion. Gotta represent my favorite game, Mortal Kombat. We have Q*bert down here next to Scorpion. And then on this one I also included the guy from Joust. And there you have it. That's what I have put together so far for my marquee. I think it looks pretty cool. I'm excited about it. And finally, we have the control panel, where the joystick and buttons are. So again, sized it, created my template, and if you look, I started basically with a Mortal Kombat control template. That's the control panel from Mortal Kombat. So I used a lot of Photoshop, in this case really Paint.net, but cut and cropped and used a lot of these components that you'll see here. So I turn that back off. I started with a black background, and then I wanted to make it more of a gradient that matches similar to the Mortal Kombat one. I grabbed the joystick kind of panels where the joysticks go. I spread them apart a little bit farther than the Mortal Kombat joysticks are because I want to have room to put a trackball in the middle. And then for a main cabinet, you need to have buttons for your coins. So I may or may not put them on the top of the arcade, on the control panel. I may put them on the front or down below where the coin door would usually go. But if I do put them on the control panel, I added some parts where I could put those. Again, I created these little scent characters by using that same Mortal Kombat font site. I just combined the letter C and a slash together and made that. And let's see. And then I wanted to put the name of my arcade cabinet on here, Arcade Classics. And I spiced it up a little bit. I put some of the artwork from the Pac-Man cabinet on the sides. Let's see. And then here's kind of the button layouts of where all the buttons should go. I currently am thinking about using this curved layout for the buttons. It's supposedly more ergonomic friendly on your fingers and not as hard on them as kind of the straight classic look. So I'm thinking about going with that for now. I'm not sold on it. I still may go with the kind of classic 6 straight across buttons. We'll see. But anyway, that's what I use to line up the buttons. Let's see what else. And I put a little logo here at the top in the middle. This is straight from Mortal Kombat, except I ripped out the Mortal Kombat logo and put in, you can see Donkey Kong and Pac-Man in there. I think it looks kind of cool. Let's see what else. And then finally, just to see kind of what it would look like, I got some images of buttons and joysticks and I popped on here, and same with the trackball, so I could kind of get an idea of what it might look like once I actually put my buttons and trackball and everything in. So again, I'm not sold on the arched buttons. I may do the straight across. If you have opinions, let me know. But there, that's how I basically put together all my artwork.